feels like last night's show was short, Alice. Don't you feel that way?
No.
Last night's show was horribly derailed when, at a pivotal moment in the show,
I'm sorry for
my wide
letting
receiver
everybody down.
left the field into the nacho stand.
I apologize to everybody.
I told the fellows that you were in trouble. Some of you guys like the drama anyway. But yes, there was a heartfelt apology today. You were double sweet today. And sometimes there's just like there's an Achilles heel where you can't. The rest of the show depended on this to roll it out. But by the way, I love for those of you wondering what's going on, Alice at one point were you looking at messages, the chat?
I was looking for more comments on the thing.
Right. So yeah. Sorry about coughing on everybody. But before we get going tonight, we have a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on, but there's also this is bizarre. I won't say bizarre. It's Trump world, so nothing's bizarre anymore. But they're doing this press conference tonight, and they are like, this administration does a lot of stuff. So
is this the Pete Hegseth,
yes.
Donald Trump one? Okay, so are we going to war with Venezuela, or what's the deal now?
All the above. We're going to war. We're now a Navy fleet country again.
Okay.
Trump-class battleships are going to be built now.
Our armada is going to...
That's exactly right.
Okay.
That's right. And we're first starting with the Western Hemisphere.
Oh, good. Okay.
And so let's just play some of these cuts. By the way, I have no problem with this. Here's the presser. Trump, of course, takes questions.
Speaking of Venezuela, oil, what are we going to do with the oil that we have?
Going to do with what?
The oil that has been seized. The United States seized 1.9 million barrels of oil on December 10th.
We're going to keep it. We're keeping it.
Where's it? Are we going to sell it or put it in the strategic oil
Maybe we'll
reserve?
sell it. Maybe we'll keep it. Maybe we'll use it in the strategic reserves. We're keeping it. We're keeping the ships also.
By the way, remember Biden used the strategic reserves.
Yes.
He released it all to lower gas prices briefly for no reason, with no long-term benefit whatsoever.
Yeah, of course. So Trump is doing what he wants to do. I have no real problem with this. I don't want a big waste of money going in. If we have things to handle in the Caribbean or in the Gulf of Mexico and Central America and South America, and we have the right to guide these ships, guide away.
Yeah, until we have a base somewhere, and Kamala Harris's Venezuela withdrawal makes the Biden Afghanistan withdrawal look like a historic airlift.
Anything is possible.
Venezuela. Colombian President Gustavo Petro criticized the United States by saying, well, the Southwest is stolen land and that it should be returned to Latin America. I just wanted to know what your response to that is.
Well, he has to watch because, he's got drug factories. They make cocaine in Colombia. And he's no friend of the United States. He's very bad guy. And he's got to watch his ass because he makes cocaine and they send it into the United States of America from Colombia. We love the Colombian people. I love the Colombian people. They're great people, energetic, smart, great. But their new leader is a troublemaker. And he better watch it. You better close up those cocaine factories. They have at least 3 major cocaine factories. We know where they are. He better close them up fast, yeah.
Let me say one thing. That question and that line from the Colombian president saying it's stolen land in the Southeast, that would have resonance with the Democratic president.
Yeah.
You say that to not Newsom because there's nothing there, but you say that to President AOC, she's going to agree.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like the Chinese did that and beat Biden's team over, and Blinken, the moment they got here, they said, "You guys say it yourself that you're a racist country."
So you're all on stolen land. By the way, the chat, Mark in the chat says, funny how Tom's face is buried in his phone whenever Alice talks, but Alice must pay rapt attention to every word Tom utters.
So that is, you would consider,
or as you put it to me last night, I'm the effing host, lady.
That's right. I'm the effing host, lady. That's exactly right. That's the difference. The thing is that if I stop talking, the show will come to a grinding halt. So we have 2 different roles here. But yes, I do that. Absolutely. Especially sometimes. But you don't. Our roles are different. We have different roles. That's why I get paid a heavy paycheck for this.
Okay. Splash says you look like a sentient 1985 Papagino's tabletop.
How dare you? How dare you? Although that was a good year for Papagenos and the jukeboxes and the, what was it? The I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. Who was that, Alice? You don't know. Who was that, guys? I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. Air Supply. That's right.
I almost said that because somebody did a parody song of you, but then I wasn't sure. Do you remember somebody did a parody song about you?
What was that about? That was.
I think it was about your gout.
No, that was gout. Shattuck has gout. That was
Okay,
Tears
it
for
must have
Fears.
been something else then.
This is I think his name
Somebody
was
did a parody song of you that was Air Supply.
Michael Graham show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I wish I could find that.
We'll have to work it all out. But he felt very strongly we need it for we need Greenland for national security, not for minerals. We have so many sites for minerals and oil and everything. We have more oil than any other country in the world. We need Greenland for national security. And if you take a look at Greenland, you look up and down the coast, you have Russian and Chinese ships all over the place.
He's not wrong.
We need it for national security. We have to have it. And he wanted to lead the charge. So we're making him, Marco, today, a special envoy to Greenland. Greenland's a big deal. Yeah.
That is, I think that's Trump doing humor. But Rubio was not laughing in this particular case. That is funny. But Hegseth kind of was. Here's more Trump.
For them, to allies or to ourselves. Takes too long. The only way they're
He's going after defense contractors now.
to be able to deliver them is if they build new plants. They don't want to build new plants because that's expensive. So we're going to be discussing production schedules. We're going to be discussing CapEx spending. We'll be discussing the pay to executives where they're making $45 and $50 million a year and not being able to build quickly. They're going to make that kind of money. They have to build quickly. Again, we make the best equipment.
Not really conservative theme talk happening, tampering with CEOs.
And I think that's a good segue into this Heritage Foundation stuff because, I mean, this is a side note. Nobody on the earth except inside baseball conservative people remotely care that this is happening. But basically everybody anyone who's anyone left the Heritage Foundation.
Right.
And went and the majority of them went and joined Mike Pence's new think tank, the
Heritage
Alliance,
Foundation.
Something
AFB,
Freedom,
yeah.
AAF, I think it is.
So the Heritage Foundation is a Washington think tank, and they provide resources. As a radio guy, they provide resources and
Liberals
information.
pretended to know all about them a couple years ago because they did Project 2025.
Right, but anyways, it's a think tank where you know it's kind of where you go to school to learn to be an ideologue.
They come out with studies supporting conservative ideas, like different things.
Right. So when
There's a bunch of conservative
when Biden
legal
was starting,
scholars.
And was screwing with our supply of oil and all that stuff, I'd bring on a heritage energy person to that kind of thing. So, it was an esteemed group. Now they've become activisty, nationalisty, Trumpy, Tuckery.
And J.D. Vance specifically is that the feeling is among people that the leadership of the Heritage Foundation, yes, like the Tucker stuff was a breaking point for them a bit. You remember they disavowed him and then they undisavowed him, and there was clearly some internal kerfuffle going on over Tucker. But yeah, the feeling is that they've essentially anointed J.D. Vance for 2028 and that they're fully team Vance, and that Vance's policies, like Trump's, or maybe in some ways some people would say, quote, worse than Trump's, are not conservative in the traditional sense.
No.
J.D. Vance, for one thing, is the poster child of the forgotten white working class voter, the forgotten Rust Belt Trump voter, the Bernie Sanders voter. He's not hardcore free markets. He's definitely, it's interesting because there's even this interview that he did where they're all quoting him as saying, I don't know what he supposedly said, like F you to people who diss Usha Vance, right? Like
Right.
they're quoting this, but even that is like sort of, he's still kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth, like doesn't want to disavow Nick Fuentes and Groypers and whatever, even though they do diss his wife all the time. Like he
Yep.
kind of had strong words, but like essentially said, I'm not kicking anybody out of the movement.
Right.
And he was at this TPUSA event this week.
Huge
and,
event.
Huge event. It's been fascinating because the really big kind of debate that I think this event has hinged
Can
on.
you hold off a little bit, please?
Like obviously there was all the Charlie Kirk stuff, but you know, Erica Kirk before this happened made peace with Candace to whatever degree possible.
Right.
And you know,
Ben Shapiro went at Candace,
but Tucker was there too.
Right.
So like
And
it was a mixed bag a little bit.
Nicki Minaj did something.
Nicki
She's ours
Minaj
now.
has joined Team Trump. Yep. It was an interesting event. Like literally everybody was there, it seems
Yeah.
like. But the JD Vance thing is interesting because JD Vance represents this like Tucker wing of the party that is now like more skeptical of foreign wars. He's
They've got things to say about Zionism.
Right? They're not knee-jerk pro-Israel the way older evangelicals are, that's for sure. And he has not had, for somebody who's married to an Indian woman, I mean, she's an American, but obviously of Indian ethnicity, he has not been like super condemning people who say bad stuff about her, which has really bothered the left, or say bad stuff about Indian immigration in general, right? And this is the kind of this debate that's been going on that essentially got Vivek kicked out of Doge, right?
I don't know what got him kicked out of Doge. I don't
You
think
don't
he ever
remember
went
that?
in.
He was going to be Doge.
He was going to
remember?
be,
But then do you
right.
remember exactly a year ago, like right around Christmas time, he went on this bizarre rant about Saved by the Bell and how American culture is like lazy and that's why Indians are beating us for all the jobs.
Yeah, and it had to do with the immigration status too. H-1Bs.
With the H-1B visas.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. And so this is a point of contention, particularly in tech where people are forced to train H-1B visa replacements and then they import cheap labor that's essentially beholden to the company and doesn't have the same workers' rights that normal people have. And, you know, if you're a regular employee, you have certain rights and you can't, like, you're allowed to leave the company. They can't make you work crazy hours. The H-1B visa workers don't have those protections, which is why employers love them. And so Vivek essentially has represented this like pro-immigration side of the movement, like pro-unrestricted immigration side of the movement, let's say. And so there's been this sort of tension for a while, clearly like at least a year. And it's interesting because Vivek was like really popular during the primary season. I thought especially with MAGA people, but a lot of these like younger groipery type of MAGA voters are very skeptical of H-1B, of legal immigration, right? And so it's raised this kind of question, like on social media, everything's all heritage American this, heritage American that. And a bunch of liberals have essentially said, like, that's racist to say heritage Americans are the only real Americans, so-called. But I think that's an oversimplification. And I say that as somebody who, like, both of my parents weren't even born in the country. So in that sense, I'm not even really a heritage American. But I do think that it's an important debate because this gets at the core of the replacement theory stuff, of the immigration debate stuff, of legal versus illegal immigration, because it's clearly true that you can't just call the illegal immigration legal immigration and make it fine.
Right.
You can't just say, okay, we're making all these, what's it called, asylum applicants, they're all legal now. Like, it's fine. You have temporary protected status because there was an earthquake 20 years ago, and, like, now you're just here forever. Like, there's clearly, like, just saying it's legal doesn't make it okay with people. And I think instead of just like knee-jerk saying like racist, you just don't like brown people, we should have an actual examination of why that is and say like, it's clearly true that the United States has historically brought in lots of immigrants who have assimilated and become American.
Yes.
But I think it's also clearly true that setting foot on America and being handed a piece of paper that says you're allowed to be here, even being given citizenship, doesn't necessarily make you American in the same sense as, say, somebody whose ancestors have been here for 200 years that have fought in every war that we've ever had.
Okay, but definitionally that is not correct. Obviously, you do have the same rights as birthright citizens if you're
You have
a
the
naturalized
same
citizen.
rights as you have the exact same
Right.
rights, and that's as it should be, and that's true, and I agree with it. It's absolutely. That being said, are you the contention of the unrestricted immigration advocates pro as much legal immigration as you could possibly ever want? The position is the second you show up, or the second you're in some cases like born as an anchor baby, you're as American as anyone else. Not just that you have the same legal rights, not just that you're a citizen. Are you as American as anyone else?
So
I mean, I think it's a continuum. I don't think it's a straight like you're American or you're not. Clearly, in terms of legal rights and voting rights and everything
Yes.
like that, that's true.
well, so
But culturally,
but culturally, if you're American in the sense that you believe in the original pursuit of the country, as written out, as proclaimed in the Declaration, and then written out, I guess, in the Constitution, talking about the extent of rights of government versus, the free peoples to enjoy liberty. I don't know. Are you as American if you're AOC and don't believe in the founding documents, even though she's been
but
here?
I think AOC is clearly an American.
Why,
She's
'cause she's
culturally
cute
an
and wears
American. No,
right
she
stuff?
grew up here. She's part of American culture. She has the same cultural references. She has the same, quote, lived experience. I do think there is such a thing as the American experience, American culture, as like living an American lifestyle. And yes, yes, part of that is we agree to the Constitution and all this stuff. But I do think there is, like, I don't think if you tomorrow, I think there's a distinction between legal status, which is one thing, and being American. Right? Like, I mean, would
but
you say
I don't love that. I don't know. I don't agree. And I think that if you give me, 6 dudes in a landscaping crew, who are in the process and become American citizens, and they see and know capitalism and they love it, and they see and they've known socialism and they hate it, and they see they're not afraid to work hard in this country, and they see the promise of this country, and they also watched Rambo and they have some of the same cultural things. Like, I'll take those dudes over AOC and Ilhan Omar every day.
I don't think it's a value judgment. I don't think it's a like they shouldn't be Americans or we shouldn't have them in the country or anything else like that. I just think it's like not demonstrably true that anyone who walks across the border, if you say you're a citizen now, like that they're automatic. I don't think they are, quote, as American as you or me necessarily. I just don't.
You know what
I think even immigrants, some are more American
Yes.
than others. Some don't. Some people don't assimilate as much as others. Right? Like, I think it's on a continuum. I do, and I think that I don't think that statement, that sort of trite statement that people use, is that that anyone who shows up here, and I think that other cultures take advantage of the American definition of citizenship, which is so loose compared to other parts of the world. It's insane. Have you followed this stuff about the Chinese billionaires?
No.
So there's, this one Chinese
Why are
billionaire
we leaving
in
the
particular.
topic?
This is on the topic.
Okay.
there's this Chinese billionaire in particular who he has been essentially buying children with surrogates, sperm donating to surrogates, primarily Jewish women. He's like really into Jewish women for whatever reason. But he has literally hundreds of American citizen children.
Okay.
Hundreds. This one dude. Because he's just essentially bought a bunch of babies with surrogates to be born in the United States. And they're all U.S. citizens. I think that's not a good thing.
I agree. He's just mass producing anchor babies.
But yeah, and I think, and there's birth tourism. Obviously, we know about this. A bunch of people on purpose have their kids in the United States so they'll be U.S. citizens, even though they have zero intention of living here. And their kids don't grow up here. Like, are their kids as American as you or me? They're just as much citizens. Technically, legally, that's true. And I
don't love this,
I'm not even
Alice.
arguing that it shouldn't be true, but I'm just saying, like, is it actually a fact that an anchor baby of somebody who's been here for 5 minutes is as American as you or me?
5 minutes? I don't know. If 5 minutes, we should count the resume of babies and audit the baby. I don't know. I think that once again, like you said, no, they're not. I've been to Fenway Park like 2,000 times, and this kid who's just born has nothing yet. He's got nothing in taking up memory.
And I'm not even saying that's good or bad,
well,
necessarily.
No,
but I just don't think it's true.
I think it's the life lived is the thing that should be valued.
Right.
And so I don't want some rich Antifa puke who's sitting and stopping traffic. I don't think should be suddenly, well, he's American. His family's been here since the 1830s. Like, F that. That kid's a piece of trash. He's less American. I don't think people... Then somebody who comes here who is familiar with the Constitution.
They might be anti-American in their values, but they are an American.
Why? What? Just because other generations that tried harder and were better than him,
well,
spit
because
this kid out?
think about if somebody moves here, leave race out of it, right? Like, if somebody, no, I know, but say like some British white person who's British stock moves here, and they become a citizen.
Yes.
And are they as American as you or me?
Well, yeah, the British are the Rolls Royce of races, Alice. Obviously, those are my people.
But they're not American.
Now, the other people in the surrounding area of the Hibernians, no. They're not American.
You don't want the Irish to be American.
No. Oh.
Okay.
Except for the hot ones, the girls.
Am I as American as you?
You're half good stock and half.
But it's not really about stock. It's about culturally too. Right?
So are you as American as me? Well, yes, but you're also like you live
kind of, but I go to an immigrant church and my dad's an immigrant and I have but our kids are more American than I am. Do you not agree with that?
Well, in the sense that they're lazy and spoiled, yes. But I don't think, are you more, you're just a...
If I moved to France and became a French citizen, would I be as French as the French people that have been there?
No.
So that's my point, though. You get what I'm saying.
Yes, but I don't think just taking advantage and indulging in the trappings of your time it makes you have the patina of real American now. He's been to Fenway, he's gotten a DUI, he's went to a senior prom. He's an American now.
There is something really silly about it, but there is a kernel of truth there. Is Rosie O'Donnell moved to Ireland? Is she just as Irish as the Irish people? She's obviously an American. I don't really want her, but she's an American nonetheless.
She is an American. Yes, she was her life experiences have been American. She was spoiled by this country.
So I think why the Vivek thing rubs people the wrong way is it's if I came in and I were you know what, Tom? My dad is just as American as you, and actually you've got the idea of what being an American is all backwards and upside down and wrong. Let me tell you what being an American is. I think that's the thing that rubs people the wrong way, because it's you know what, just sit and absorb a little America for a minute before you tell everybody else what being an American is. I think that's where it gets to people. And
Other than
I don't
pension
think-
for smoking, I don't know that your dad has tried to recreate part of Serbia in your house.
I mean, a little. We ate Serbian food. I'm baptized in a
Some of the
Serbian
stuff's good.
church.
Your mother
Yeah.
did that, by the way. Not to muddy the waters here, but there's a long story here.
Sure, but like I speak some Serbian. I've been to Serbia. I have relatives there. Like my family has on occasion like exchanged money or gifts with them, like things like that.
Yes.
We've in my lifetime owned property there. Like there's
America is not solitary confinement, Alice. You're allowed to do all sorts of stuff,
of
cross-cultural
course you
stuff.
are. Of course you are. But like you don't necessarily have that.
I don't have that.
You're not like half from another country where you have a bunch of relatives.
We wouldn't vote. We're your betters. That's different, Alice. My people.
That you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
I
yeah.
think it's an
My
interesting
people are all here,
conversation,
and they
though.
got the hell out of Dodge. They didn't want to have any part of that, and then the savages killed a lot of them through the years, and so there's.
But I think it's an interesting conversation. I think it's an interesting
I think it is,
conversation
too.
in light of the whole like Minnesota welfare fraud thing.
Yes.
Did you know, by the way, that there was a study that found that 89% of the Somali households in Minnesota are on welfare?
I'm hearing a lot of this.
89%.
Did you know in Lewiston, Maine, they had started a charity fund for the Lewiston shooting victims? Which a few years ago there was a shooting in Lewiston, and the steering committee consists of some of our Somali friends who steered some of the money to their agencies.
Ah.
It's just amazing. So I don't know the Somalians, is it Somalian? What are they?
I guess they're Somalians.
So Somalians aren't the first people to come here and start grifting. In fact, pretty much
But
everybody.
they're as American as you and me.
Uh,
A bunch of them
yes,
are
on paper,
citizens.
a
bunch of them are born
yeah.
here. They're as American as you or me. So how can you can't even tell the difference. How can you even differentiate that they're Somalians? You can't tell.
I'm
They're
gonna
as
suggest-
American as you or me. That's what the point.
well, I mean, if they're living in communities that's densely Somalian and they're not
Assimilating
right.
at all.
Assimilating, well,
But
then,
technically, yes, they are as American as you or me.
but their kids then will end up being in the soccer team with the other kids, and they'll all turn into
They
spoiled
will
American
eventually.
kids.
Yeah,
Yes.
they will eventually. I mean, it's worked for everybody else. I see no reason why it wouldn't. But the thing is it's like it does take a little time and some generations to like steep in the Americanness a little bit before you're like fully part of it, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, and actually having vocal chants of loyalty to Somalia when you're in this country, and especially if you're an elected leader, is like Ilhan Omar does, is problematic.
Right.
So yeah, no, I think there's something. I mean, it's an interesting conversation because how do you? The melting pot thing, I think, has historically been working well. Just taking in these mass asylum seekers.
Although I will say there was in the last big period of migration into this country, there were tensions and issues and people had to over time assimilate because at first they weren't assimilated and it was like uncomfortable and they weren't quite as American as you or me until like you say your kids are on the soccer team and they go to school with everybody else and they don't speak Italian anymore and then they are as American as everybody else. But that like initial first
yes,
not.
one thing that delays assimilation, I think, is living off a government feeding tube in every aspect of your life.
Yeah. This is one thing I love, by the way. Did you see that the Trump administration they're actually going to start enforcing these laws that are on the books where they're going to come after sponsors for welfare? Because technically, if you, whether you're like an organization or a person who you're sponsoring immigrants, if they go on welfare, the government can take it back out of you. But that's like never been enforced in decades
that's great.
and decades.
That is
the
great.
Trump administration is going to start coming after people for the welfare money, which is going to be an issue for
beautiful.
these sponsorships.
So we have 7,896.
Okay, so we should probably do that, and then we'll do some more in the Shattuck or in the Patreon show that we owe you guys because I do think there's a lot more to talk about.
And Tom from Thomaston must be like,
Like, what did I do?
yeah. what did I say?
Not
that was
your
wrong?
fault, Tom. Not your fault.
So let's start with Tom. Here we go. This is only 3 days ago.
Hey, Tom, Alice, Tom from Thomaston.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, I don't understand why you and some of your listeners are surprised about Trump. Trump is Trump, and Trump does what Trump does.
Yeah.
We've got to come to expect that. I agree. It was in poor taste, Tom. He shouldn't have done it. It was stupid. But
This is the Rob Reiner thing, obviously.
that's
Yeah.
just Trump.
I get it.
And then the other thing, Tom, if Rob Reiner called you Nazi and vile names for 10 years, you, the person that wants a bomb dropped on the fast food place and
Yeah,
agrees
well.
people blocking streets should be run over,
Correct.
which I totally agree with,
Yep.
you wouldn't go off on Rob Reiner? So
Yeah, but we haven't elected Tom president yet.
it was a bad move, but I totally understand why Trump did it.
Yes, but Tom, like Alice was just saying, he is the custodian of the presidency. And so there are certain ways he should deliver in the name of the elected leader of the country representing the American people, that there should be some etiquette that is abided to.
Also, by the way, I think you'd probably still kind of like Rob Reiner movies.
I'd still like him. Even when he was losing his mind on Bill Maher. Like,
But if it was about you personally,
I'd love the attention. I'd be fine.
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey, Billy.
I'm glad you enjoyed the gift. And yes,
Thank
it was a very class act on my part. I think it was a very good gift as well.
Correct.
But it was better than the 4X t-shirt that I was thinking of getting.
Thank
or
you. Phil got me a 5X, which actually I like. It's sitting right here.
it probably fits you.
What? It will be loose on me, which I like, because loose fitting clothes make you feel thin.
the matching underwear that you advertise on your show, which is just beyond disturbing.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Do we really advertise?
Some people have told us that, yes.
you're very welcome. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Billy.
24 seconds.
There we go. Class act, Alice. Wouldn't kill you, though. So now all the ones since last night. So I'll do the
Are
old ones
gonna be-
first. Okay?
Yeah. We better transition slowly to the post.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack. A warning for Billy, who expressed a desire to join the text thread. It is voluminous. It is gigantic. It's ever expanding. And it's a commitment, kid. It's a real commitment. I'll just give you the number from Wednesday.
Peace.
Okay.
Wow.
Wednesday, between the hours of 10 a.m. and shortly before 10 p.m., 159 separate text messages were exchanged. Okay, and I'm not counting the likes or the laughing emojis or
Right.
the memes, whatever. Those are straight messages, kid. This is you're not in shape to handle it. Okay,
You can't just.
I have the luxury of driving around all day for
Yeah.
my job, so I can't even respond a lot of the times until later in the day. But it is a lot to keep up with. So best of luck.
And by the
You
way,
can't just join this and be part of it right away.
there's a lot. First of all, it's obviously it's not rated PG or R. There are no rules. It is Thunderdome. Second of all, there are accusations made. There's a whole battle royale full of accusations, which includes the true sexuality of everybody in the in the chat and in the elitist issues and all those things. But here's another thing: this chat rises with the cock, as in the rooster. Alice, grow up. The rooster, Alice. This chat will be usually the first text I get any morning. These guys are on the road or somebody is up. Alice, really? That's all it takes?
You're so inappropriate. Do you remember when we had a rooster who would crow in the morning?
Yes, Alice, that's what I meant when I said that.
You could say rooster.
I assumed that the word cock, which in this case means a bird, a rooster, Alice, I assumed we could get away with that. But I assumed wrong.
Sorry for being so childish, everybody.
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey,
I
Billy.
gladly accept Tim and Canton's request. I will call balls and strikes like I have been on this show. I will take the Angel Hernandez approach to it.
Who's that?
I know Alice does not know what that means. It is not the tight end for the Patriots, but Tom, maybe you could research it. Maybe you even know who that is, but I will be coming from that school of thought as far as calling balls and strikes. And I will call the first one out. Alice Nancy Drew Shattuck was the only person in the world who figured out that the killer at Brown was also the same as MIT. I mean, what, again, I just got to call that out. Ridiculous. Just mind-boggling, ridiculous.
Well, Billy, I must say that Alice is she was a good student, and so she feels that she's really smart and educated, and there's nothing she likes to do more than best somebody at a game of intellectual anything. So if she feels that she's right about something, then there's nothing more that she loved in the world than her math or physics teacher patting her on the head. Is that true?
No.
Hey, Tom, Alice, Tom from Thomason. Hey, I hope I don't come across as an apologist for the president, because I totally agree with you, Alice. The stupid trolling stuff that he does, it's sophomoric and it's beneath the president, and they're just going to do it to him if they get power in 4 years. So it makes no sense. And he is going to really lose me if they don't come down hard on all this abuse and graft. Minnesota, Maine, Massachusetts, there's probably a ton of it in Connecticut.
Yeah.
It's bad enough they did all this yapping about Doge, and now it looks like nothing is happening. That's where the president's going to lose me, and I think a lot of people like me. I'm afraid it's sounding like all talk and no action.
The news today shows that like there are feds stormtrooping all around Minnesota. So let's go with that.
I think they are going after people, and I think they're going to find that that's going to be like a magic key that unlocks a lot of goodwill. Is that, you know, people don't like the videos of like ICE dragging people away. But if you have that Boston U.S. attorney come out there and explain that they stole a bunch of your money before you drag them away, I mean, and Trump, it was funny because that Minnesota newspaper like fact checked him. Did you see all that stuff? They were like, because Trump said like, oh, billions in fraud. And at that point, all that was out was like, oh, it's just... you know, hundreds of millions, not billions.
Right.
But then, you know, then they announced in the subsequent days, like, just assume Trump knows a little bit more about this than you newspaper people, because it turns out, of course, that it's, they're out of like the 18 billion that they spend on welfare there. It's like at least half fraud. So it's like possibly in the more than 10 billion. It's crazy. And the scale of it is huge. It's more, and I know like Republicans have been saying waste, fraud, and abuse since the Tea Party and even before, but the scale of it does surprise me a bit.
I've just been looking into the stuff in Maine just recently. This is the tip of the iceberg. It's amazing. Like there are not enough resources in Maine to even cover the news now for the outfits that will, which is just the Maine Wire, really. But there's not enough law enforcement in Maine to prosecute everybody. It's so big. It's the same thing in Minnesota. This thing has got to be federal level. It's huge, and it makes me once again wonder, why didn't you and I get involved in an NGO? Why? So many grifts.
You're just too principled.
And I'm 52 and I don't own a car at this moment, and everybody else is grifting and grifting and grifting.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Billy, the reason that my message about the Rob Reiner tweet seemed out of place is because I left that on Monday, and Tom, of course, couldn't play it on Tuesday because he had the AIDS and he was busy mainlining salsa packets to try and combat it. try and get his T cell count back up.
How dare you? Hey, welcome to the chat, Billy, by the way. This is more like it. This is the text thread.
Oh, man. So my point
Was
is...
I out last week?
Yeah, the night that I was in Boston, you were sick.
Oh, yeah.
And you told everybody the story about how you ordered all the salsa picante
That's
to
right.
get yourself feeling better. But
Yeah. No, that was one that in that condition, I couldn't just talk to myself. There was no voice happening.
Is before the events of Wednesday and Thursday, which I approve of, Trump had made a really horrible, unnecessary statement. But it doesn't mean that he still doesn't give me fatigue. I'm not going to lie about that. He steps in his dick every opportunity he can. Thank you.
Is that technically a swear? Do I have to bleep that out?
I have no idea. I don't know the rules of podcasts.
Billy from Manchester, yet again. I am a Minifan. Well, I should say I listened to the Kirk Minahan show from its inception to its ending. At some point, I will tell you the story. I actually called Kirk.
Wow.
His first show on EEI on a weekend, maybe second show, and he was just flustered as hell. And I'm trying to find the recording. I think I might have it. If I don't, it's in the head. It's up here in the noggin. But let me just tell you something. It'd be embarrassing if that went out. Just a complete. I mean, talk about a rope-a-dope.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of saying we're going to bomb Venezuela and then coming out with an incredible speech like Trump did. I mean, just a rope-a-dope of all time. But yes, I am a Minifan, and I wish him well. 49 seconds.
Yeah, well, that was before the new news that he's going to take a health break. So we'll see what that is. Hopefully he's okay. I hope he is. You know, life ain't easy. Yeah, I think thinking about that, he must have been sucking wind when he was first doing weekends, but I probably was listening too. That's why it's.
You always loved him. Let's be right.
I did. Yeah.
Always,
No, absolutely. But we that's why it's a lot sometimes easier to be like a one-man band if you're a producer. Like Kirk wasn't a producer, so he couldn't fire audio or anything. There's many more crutches available if you're a producer. Even if you don't use the audio, knowing that you have it is good. But yeah, I gotta assume that they were churning calls even on the weekend because all the teams were winning around here.
Here's a question for Alice. Alice, do you die from a self-inflicted gunshot wound or a self-inflicted gunshot?
Oh.
I mean, if you add the wound at the end, isn't that just gilding the lily, so to speak?
I suppose.
Shouldn't they have said he died from a self-inflicted gunshot, not a self-inflicted gunshot wound? Because I could shoot myself in the hand and the wound would be pretty bad, but I may not die from it.
Right. So it's not the gunshot that kills you, it's the wound.
What a clown show these people have been.
No, no, I agree. It's the impact. Yeah, the guns can be shooting all day long, and unless they hit you and create a wound where your organs exit your body, then...
It's the wound that gets you every time.
Exactly. All right, Alice, we're on to today. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, Billy from Manchester,
hey, Billy.
Official, unofficial ombudsman. You're too tired to finish the chat? I mean, who are you?
I did not say that, Billy. I didn't say I was too tired. Come on.
He was too mad at me.
Too mad because I was handing off to my running back and realized that she was at Pizzeria Uno 6 blocks away.
Mayor Smiley, you're very tired trying to track down killers. Very tired. I mean, you sound better.
Mayor Smiley.
Alice did. The woman spoke 90% of the time.
That's what I told you.
And you can't hit buttons to play people's messages. Pathetic. Just pathetic.
Maybe it would be good for the thread. It isn't correct. I'm an artist, Billy. I need certain things to be in place to continue here. It reminds me one time, like in the mid 2000s, somehow I went on to this like international chess game.
You went to an international chess game?
I was on like a landline, but not mid-landline. It was an online chess game where I was playing somebody from like Taipei or something.
Okay.
So when it says, okay, this other guy wants to play you, it's from Taipei. And he moved his whatever pawn, and I moved my pawn. and he moved this guy, and then I moved my other guy, and then he quit the game. And like,
Ugh.
so, and I think that he overthought it and thought, oh, this American must be playing the Queen's 7 double split reverse, and I have no way out of it now. But I wasn't out of it. But I didn't know what I was doing. But he was just disheartened. That's what I was the guy from Taipei yesterday because my dickhead co-host bugged out.
Oh, I'm the co-host now?
Yeah, you were last. You had co-host. That's gone now. You've been demoted.
What am I?
You're fourth chair now.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Alice, going forward, if you get caught not paying attention during the podcast, don't admit to it. Do what Blind Mike did, and all you have to do is say, "Oh, I don't know. It never fucking ends." Okay? Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm honest. No, I'm not honest. I'm just a terrible liar.
well, right. So, this is one of my first problems with Alice. One of them was when she started to do this podcast with me. And I don't know what you were leaving for emotionally then. And maybe it was for because you were looking at yourself in the camera. I used to be made very nervous by the camera. And she'd seemingly be breathing and looking at me, but would have nothing sometimes. And the thing is, and I've done this too, when I was especially newer to radio and stuff. Sometimes you have nothing, sometimes you're nervous, and sometimes when you have nothing and you're nervous, you have even less because now you're nervous and in a spiral. But the thing is that, and I've always said this, and anybody who's done any kind of broadcasting, podcast, whatever, knows that if the person, it's worse to have a person there who you think is there, but who isn't really there in their head. It's better to just be alone then, because then you know who you've got. So that's what that is. So,
well,
as
ahead. Mark said in the chat, you don't always pay attention to me. So
I do not always pay attention
and
to you.
Splash in the chat said he's # support Alice too.
No, please, please. Simping. These are your simpers, Alice. Since that, by the way, I'm just.
You are so inappropriate. Stop posting stuff like
sorry
that.
about that. This is your punishment. Sorry about that. You're being doxxed. What's it called? Sexted. What are you being called? What's the thing?
Trafficked?
Yeah, I guess so, in a way.
Tom and Alice.
Hey, Tim.
Chappie from Maine.
What?
That performance.
Oh, that wasn't. Oh, it's Chappie.
Chappie from Maine.
Oh, I thought it was Tim from Canton. Sorry about that. I'll start again.
Tom and Alice. Chappie from Maine. That performance Sunday night podcast has got to go down in the annals as one of the all-time, I don't know what you want to call it, the beginning of the podcast. You're begging for a producer. For God's sakes, get everything straightened out in there before you start
Alice.
the podcast. None of these bickering back and forth,
I know.
arguing.
That's this one.
God, and then at the end, obviously, either your cold got the best of you, or you didn't have enough liquor in your glass. But do you want to do the Patreon? No. Unbelievable. Come on, let's go.
I don't
Smarten
mind.
up. 45 seconds.
I don't like being mimicked in such a bitchy tone. That was not it. No. It was not it whatsoever. It was Alice that derailed the show, okay?
I apologize
She
to everyone.
essentially...
I'm sorry, Chappie.
Alice was essentially Muhammad Atta last night.
I don't know that that's really an appropriate metaphor to use for...
Good morning, Billy from Manchester.
Hey, Billy.
I couldn't find, I should say, Pedro Martinez's "This is our effing city" speech, but I did find the Yogi Berra Lou Gehrig's disease announcement speech. Fantastic. Chills every time I hear Yogi Berra say that today. He's the luckiest person on the face of this earth. It's just gives you chills.
Alice, are you familiar with
26
Yogi Berra's "Today I'm the luckiest person on the face of the earth"
No,
speech?
I don't know what he's saying.
You're
I
not
assume it's a humor about me getting the name wrong.
Correct. It was not Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra was still with us till recently, I think. I think he's dead now.
Wow. Hell hath no fury like Tom Shattuck scorn.
How dare you?
Watch out, bitches. He's pissed. Cutting the show, not playing all the chat messages, exasperated with the lovely Alice. Woo! Unfortunately, Tom, I got to say, when Alice suggested going to Patreon, I was salivating. I mean, being a bottom tier, entry level Patreon customer, that's what I'm paying for. Looking forward to the fireworks tonight.
No, we didn't. We just didn't talk last night. I think was that the move.
We didn't do a Patreon show.
I know,
but
Alice. I was there for that. I'm saying we didn't talk. We were in full silent run for the rest of the evening. Was that? That's true, right?
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Showed you.
Hey, Billy from Manchester. I
Hey,
know
Billy.
Tim and Canton and Stephen Merrimack will get this too, this reference, but do you ever find it ironic that Lou Gehrig died from Lou Gehrig's disease? 12 seconds.
It is true, Alice. It is true. Not a great disease.
Kind of figured that.
Although you're hearing ALS more than ever. It's like they're stealing it back from Gehrig. It's not great. Not great.
Is that the same thing, or are they just
Isn't it?
similar?
I thought they were the same thing.
I don't know though. They are.
And by the way, Tommy John's still like branding well over the surgery. Maybe they'll still that too. Tommy John's too old now.
Okay, it is the same thing.
Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Can I give you another example of bad Trump?
Yes.
This whole mess with Elise Stefanik, that's bad Trump. This girl is really talented.
Yeah.
And she's been really loyal. And she was supposed to get a big job, you know,
At the
ambassador
UN.
to the UN.
Yeah.
And she stepped back from it because they needed her votes in the House.
Yep.
That's fine. Now she was going to run for governor, and Trump refused to endorse her, endorsing some 70-year-old guy who, you know, is a Republican, whatever, a friend of Trump's. It's just so stupid. Man, if you're a friend of Trump's, I think you're in more trouble sometimes than if you're an enemy. Ay. Thank you.
So, Steve, to be honest, I didn't realize that was the whole backstory.
That's what happened. And now she's not just dropping out of the governor
She's out
race,
of politics.
She's done with Congress and everything.
Yeah,
too.
I don't like that because she was awesome. She was fantastic.
And it's probably, I know it's in New York. I don't know that much about that district, but is that like a safe Republican district?
I don't know.
I am like it. Every little bit counts with the. It's such a slim majority that the Republicans have had the last couple of years. It just like.
And does Trump's guy for Republican for governor is that not all it takes?
I mean, he's not going to probably win the governorship of New York.
And as a matter of fact,
Yeah, no, it's crummy.
Yeah, it is. But then again, I don't live the day-to-day of these politicians and all the functions you have to go to and all the stale speeches. And
maybe from Trump's perspective, like, why am I going to endorse out of, like, loyalty to Elise Stefanik if, like, if any Republican's going to lose New York to an incumbent governor?
That's embarrassing. To think that the Republican will lose to Hochul. Oh,
I think they're going to.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Okay. You ready?
I am ready.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
All you need to know about this 60 Minutes piece about the CCOT Venezuelan prison that Barry Weiss postponed is that Sharon Alfonsi is the lead, quote, reporter, unquote, on this thing. Never forget, she's the pipe artist that tried to set up Ron DeSantis with a completely false story about him giving preference to Publix grocery stores, you know, for kickbacks or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
And she was exposed as a complete fraud because, unbeknownst to her, DeSantis taped all of his press conferences and specifically the one that she was at, and he threw it right back in her face. She is a fraud. She should never be allowed to report on television again. And also, I guarantee you, they tried to call the White House like an hour before airtime just so they could say, you know, the White House didn't respond. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. That's it's fascinating, and I want to talk about it more, and especially the stuff, the Barry Weiss stuff that was leaked. They leaked like all her questions to them about like why she didn't want to run it. It's really interesting.
Anybody saying to me that this is the end of CBS as we knew it, I say, yeah, that's fantastic. That's brilliant.
You're
CBS
just a mouthpiece of the administration now.
like, how dare you? It's Barry Weiss, you
But I
freaking
want to read you
oversensitive
in the
pricks.
Patreon show. I'm going to read you her like questions to them about their reporting
Sure,
because
sure.
it's not even
No.
like it's like not even pro-Trump. Her questions and stuff. It's about trying to make the reporting better
Okay.
because they're lazy asses.
We'll do that in the
But,
Patreon.
yeah, we'll do that in the Patreon show.
Alice, pay attention when I'm talking to you.
How dare you?
But when I look at my phone while you're talking to me and I can just laugh.
This has vibes of the Cowardly Lion laughing. I mean, he's crying.
Alice, pay attention when I'm talking to you.
How dare you?
But when I look at my phone while you're talking to me and I can just laugh at what I'm reading. Pay attention. I'm sick. Let's call the show. I'm tired. Back up, you puddle of piss.
How dare you? That is not at all what happened. And by the way, I'm looking at important stuff when I'm looking. She's just effing around with Snood or Candy Crush or whatever she does.
It doesn't upset me about that Dollar Tree Dr. Seuss knockoff published a trope, or I don't know, it was terrible.
Melrose.
What troubles me is now Tom is going to break out that Trapper Keeper, look through all his notes from when he was a quote-unquote songwriter, and now he's going to go to Amazon and get them quote-unquote published, and then he'll be able to say, but Alice, I'm a published songwriter.
There we go.
Oh, dear God, we're screwed.
There we go.
I'm surprised that during your unemployment you haven't played around, especially since you like learned about the ones that make music. That you haven't played around with making more songs go.
I did those when we were playing with the when we were doing the bike stuff in Boston. I
But
enjoyed
I'm surprised you haven't like just for your own entertainment done more.
We haven't been overly productive, Alice.
Who's we?
I think it's fair to say I'm keeping this house, this family together while you're out doing your Photoshops for your marketing stuff every day.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. We are going to do the Patreon show today, so if you're watching on Patreon, just stay there, and we're going to talk more about Barry Weiss, more about the janitor at Brown, and
my God,
all of these news items. So join us on the other side for that. If you want to join the Patreon, it's patreon.com/burnbarrel. That's also where we have the live chat every day. You can listen to all Tom's shows ad-free, things like that.